Today, I will be talking about the most profound practices that I've been using to catch myself and my emotions, how I've been able to regulate my emotions, and how I've been able to actually feel more stable and feel more at ease and feel more calm within myself when the pot gets hot, so to say. Welcome to Following Soul, a podcast where we are choosing to live a soul-led life, where we are choosing to live soulfully. We choose to live life from intention, listen to our intuition, and following our highest inspirations every single day. I am a Cancer rising, so that can have a little bit about it to do, but I also grew up in certain type of circumstances where I adapted certain type of ways how to regulate my emotions. I do also believe that I may be a certain type of personality type. I'm very empathic, I am very sensitive, and sensitive for me is very powerful, and today sensitive for me is like nothing negative at all. I am sensitive. I'm a badass in being sensitive. I am very good at it and I love me for it. But before, I used to have complications in regards to my emotions. I used to be like, when I was sad, I was really, really, really sad. When I was happy, I was really, really, really happy. And even though when I get sad, I get sad, and when I get happy, I get happy, or when I get angry, I get angry. It's not the same any longer. Like, the emotions don't hold the power over me. And that is a big difference, and that is a big shift that happened for me. Like, before, the emotions, they hold power over me. The emotions, like, it felt like I couldn't stop them. It felt that I went on, like, let's say I had an argument with someone, or I was sad about something someone did, or sad about something in my life, whatever. I could go on from days and days and days and days and not being able to let go of that feeling. And it was really heavy on me, and it caused a lot of stress. It caused a lot of anxiety. It caused a lot of overwhelm. And like, that type of cycle kept on rolling and rolling and rolling into more and more consequences of it. So I realized at the moment that, okay, I want to meet myself. I want to meet myself that, yeah, I do cry when I see strong scenes on the movies, or I do cry when someone wins a prize or whatever it might be. I do also get very happy, and I get very like a little kid that having a sugar kick when she's excited. And I love me for that. But I do also want to feel that I am more in one way or another, like more in zone with my own emotions, and that they don't hold the power of me. So this has been in different type of steps which I've done that. So it was a time when I really started to meet my emotions, like sitting with me, being with me, just like, okay, what is happening, Linnea? Talking to parts of me, like, what is happening, what's going on, like giving it a lot of love and appreciation, like, yes, let your heart flow, like, what is it that you're feeling, why do you feel like this, and so forth, right? So I practice all of those kind of emotional regulation practices. And then there was a point when I came into like a higher understanding, and I came into um, higher vibration in a way, or like a more like a vibration that felt more great and resonating for me. So at that point, I was very, very determined to taking an extra level, an extra upgrade in regards to my emotions, and when I felt heavy or very strong emotions. So at that point, I started to practice that when I got sad about something, or when I felt a very strong emotion, which I felt that was not like so helpful for me, that took a lot of energy from me, or I felt very depleted from it, or, it was some certain type of emotions that I was like, okay, do I really need to be this sad about this thing? Do I really need to be this disappointed or this triggered about this thing, or whatever it might be, right? So I started to realize that, okay, I can actually catch myself. I can actually catch myself in the moment and ask a very simple question. And the simple question was, is this helpful? So when I am, let's say, sad and being in an argument with my partner about something, is it helpful that I keep on continue to be sad in the motion? Or can it be that it's actually more helpful for me to be in a different type of state to continue that conversation? And when I asked myself that question, I always came in the conclusion that, yeah, you know what? Right now, it can actually be better for me to have another state. So either in the beginning, when I were practicing it, I was just like, okay, you know what? I need to go away somewhere. I need to meet my feelings. I need to be with my feelings. I need to get into another type of state before we can continue this discussion, because I want to actually join this discussion with another type of state that is more helpful. So I went away, I did my things, and then I came back, right? Nowadays, I can do it much more quicker and do it in the conversation because I practice it. But that was like a little learning curve for me to, separate myself from the situation at first and so forth. So you had to like kind of find your own emotions and find your own like phasing in regards to that. But that is something that really, really has helped me. So every time I feel that I get mad about something or angry about a situation, or I get some certain type of decision from the tax authorities that I get mad about, like whatever it is, and I start to get, this feeling that my emotion is starting to take over the situation and change how I am feeling, because maybe I was really feeling great at that moment, and then this happened, and then suddenly I should just turn into something else just because of something happened. Like, why should I do that? I don't have the energy for that. No, I don't have the energy for that. You see what I'm doing? Like, I'm giving myself a lot of self-love also. I don't have the energy for that. I'm not subscribing to that. That is not how I want to experience life. That is not how I want to live life. So instead, in that moment when I get mad that I have to make that call to the tax authorities, I just like, okay, is this helpful? Is my anger, my frustration helpful right now? Will it be helpful if I call the tax authorities being really pissed? Will I be paying attention to what we actually need to pay attention to solve the situation? Will I be operating from the best state from myself? Will I feel proud of myself when having that conversation? So is this really helpful to be in this state now? Yes or no? No. Okay, can I change that then? Yeah. And when I noticed many times is specifically for me, because in the beginning I was like, well, then I will not meet my feelings. And then I will not, show up for myself that I'm allowed to have these emotions. I'm allowed to actually say what's on my heart. But what I noticed many times, that was just a shit talk show from my ego, telling me that, well, you should actually be sad right now. You are allowed to be sad, so you should be in that state. That's clever, right? If I'm allowing myself to be sad, I'm also like telling myself that I should be that sad. So I continue to be in that state and I continue to be sad. So this is not about not seeing ourselves for what is happening and not meeting ourselves. It's really important. It's really important. And if you don't have that practice within, that is the first thing that you should start with. Remember that I said that before that, I had done a lot of other emotional regulation practices so that I was seeing myself, so that I was creating a safe space for my emotions to fly. This is what I think happens many times, that if we are especially like in an argument with someone else, or we get annoyed, we get so focused that we have to be allowed to speak up our emotions. We have to be allowed to say what it is that we want to say, and the emotions running high. So we are starting to reasoning ourselves why it is okay for us to behave in a certain type of way, and then afterwards we many times just, okay, I overreacted and so forth. Like, why do we have to do that? We have to take responsibility for our own happiness. And how we do that is that we do not subscribe to the ego. We do not subscribe to the ways how we've been behaving from before that hasn't helped us. And that we're saying that, you know what, there are actually other type of emotions that I want to explore and express more. So I choose that. I choose to see for what happens in the situation. I choose to once again, like, show up for myself, feel all the feelings if I need to, see myself if I need to. But after I've done that, I do not subscribe to the emotion any longer. I say, no, this is not helpful. what type of emotion is helpful, what type of state is more helpful. This state is helpful. Okay, try it. Like, it will be miracles. In the beginning of the relationship with my partner, I done a lot about my journey, so to say, in regards to my emotions, but I still had a little bit of that like past me emotions in me, right? And I will sit in a year and say the same about me now, right? We're always evolving, always expanding, right? In the beginning of our relationship, I felt a lot of that I was, as I said, like I was in this kind of shifting into like deciding for what type of states that I had. And I noticed that when I was able to master that, we didn't have arguments in the same way any longer. It didn't have to be such a big thing, such a huge thing. Nowadays, it happens sometimes, still, that my emotions can really run high. So when that happens, I can sometimes be like, almost like I'm choosing. We're laughing about it sometimes because you can see that I'm almost about to, get really scared for something, if I didn't notice that my partner entered the room, or I can get annoyed, and then I suddenly change, like I go through so many emotions at once. And so I changed the emotion in the second, right? So we can laugh about it and just like, okay, you were about to be frustrated about this, right? Yeah, I was. But then I realized that I didn't need to. That was nothing, So I actually changed my emotion. And some can say that can sound like you are not, once again, like meeting your emotions, or that you're spiritual bypassing. But if you are really doing the deep work, if you're really doing the deep inner growth first, then you're able to do this. If you really look yourself and catch yourself and meet yourself and feel through like how you want to create your world, and how you can do that in being true to you, then you will not. You don't need to be afraid of spiritual bypassing, because you're listening to yourself, you're listening to your intuition. Like, this is why it's so important for us to follow soul. Because when we are following the nudges from our soul, we don't need to be afraid of that we fall into denial, or that we fall into fear, or we fall into whatever, because we are following soul. Right? And it's a practice, it's a living practice. So every single day when I practice this, I become more knowledgeable in it, right? That's why I can many times now change the emotion in the second and have like 3 different faces in one. It looks very fun, okay? Because I can really like, okay, catch myself, this and this comes. Okay, what do I want to choose? So what happens, this is a new next level. What happens is that I don't even internalize those emotions. Before I took in emotions, I felt the emotions, I pushed it down and I repressed it maybe, or I felt that I needed to walk through with those emotions and hold those emotions for a very long time, But nowadays, it's almost as if I'm a shield, Zoom, something is like entering my energetic field. I'll look at it, I'll observe it, feel into it. Do I want to, take it in or not? No, I don't want to take it in. Great, okay, boom. It hit the energetic field and it went away before it even got to mean something to me, right? Because when we make things mean something to us, it's when we start to internalize those emotions and start to feel emotions. So like, another layer of this practice is that I truly learned how to, I don't need to actually take on all the emotions. I don't need to actually carry all the emotions at the first place, which is entering my field. I can choose to have other emotions and other stories and other realities. Wow. Is that how powerful creators we are? Yes, we are. I think I'm done with today's episode. Let me know what you're thinking about it and give it a little bit of a practice. This is one of the best golden tickets, golden practices that I have to share with you about emotional regulation, about feeling better, about not being so overwhelmed in my emotion, not letting my emotions run wild and free without any type of understanding or like choice or decision for how I actually want things to be, right? This is really, 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 like literally one of the best practices that I have in regards to how I feel so emotionally just at ease nowadays, and so emotionally just in me. I'm able to experience the emotions that I want to feel and the emotions that are true to me. Emotions of care, support, love, happiness. Feeling great, right? Hope that this will help you to feel the same too, or whatever it is that you wish to feel. And keep on listening to your Within Talks. See you at the next one. Bye.